to lead us in the pledge.
Our dear Heavenly Father, as we come before Thee at the first of the year, we appreciate the ability to be here in this free nation. We thank You for all the blessings You afford us to be able to get through this last year, these trying times. Please help those people that are first responders and for those people that are on the front lines, not only in hospitals, but also our law enforcement and anybody else that has to do with our freedoms. Please continue to bless us and help us that the sick and afflicted might be able to feel of Thy love and that we might be able to reach out and help those people that are in need. Please help us that we make proper and correct decisions in all that we do, and bless us that our families, that they will be able to be blessed while we are gone, and we'll be able to travel home in safety. And we ask these favors and blessings in the name of My Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Please rise. Please repeat the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Stan, and thanks, Mitch. Okay, looks like you guys are in need of a new chair. The one this last year didn't do very good
I
because
broke my chair.
we had quite a year with COVID, so hopefully 21 is a better year. So,
I thought we had to approve minutes and everything first.
Yeah.
oh, we do.
You're just
I'm gonna stay here.
I'm in a hurry to
I'm
give up
gonna
the chair,
stay here as
apparently.
long as I can.
I'm in a hurry to give up the chair. Okay, sorry about that. But let's go to minutes then. Did you guys get a chance to look those over?
I did. I'd make a motion that we approve our minutes from December 16th, 2020.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, a motion by Commissioner Scott, second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any administrative review issues or form agenda items you guys have? Think of? Do we have any new COVID? Oh, you got that? Why
That,
don't you share that?
and then if you guys want to talk about what's going on tomorrow, do you want me to mention that too?
Sure. You can go ahead and mention that too.
We've got a letter from the Mosquito Abatement District that says, to the Box Elder County Commissioners, this letter is to inform you that Commissioner Stan Summers' term of the Board of Trustees is coming to an end December 31st, which has already ended. We have appreciated the fine work Commissioner Summers has done. He has served on the board since 2013 and has proven to be an outstanding member. In addition, anyway, they're looking for a new person to be put on the board, so I'm not going to read the rest of the letter. It actually says that we can have somebody, from outside of us to be able, so if anybody knows anybody who'd like to be on that, if you want to contact us in the next week or so, and if not, then I have a feeling that they're just going to appoint me again,
They
so.
did say they'd take you back, right?
They said they'd take me back if we could do it, so.
Okay.
Anyway, I just wanted to put that, and then, 6 months ago, I think it was, with some of the COVID money, the state and UDOT got together and put a program together to run fiber from Tremont to the Idaho border. And so they're having a kind of a photo op tomorrow out in Snowville. So we're gonna be traveling out to Snowville and they actually ran it into Howell to the post office, and they will start hooking people up with high-speed internet in Howell pretty quick, and in Snowville. So that's an important day for West Box Elder County. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty bad when Grouse Creek, Snowville, and Howell, and everybody has better internet than I've got. So, and I live close to town.
Okay, that's cool. Commissioner Scott, you got anything?
COVID numbers are staying pretty constant, still running about 20 to 30, 35, 40 a day. Number of positives, still coming in about the same percentage. Number of active cases staying about the same. So, the good news is it's not increasing. We haven't had another major spike. The local hospitals definitely aren't overloaded. If there is a COVID case, they typically get sent to Weber Davis or Salt Lake. But As the sheriff mentioned in our administrative meeting, the vaccinations are going out right now, and so the frontline folks in the hospitals, nurses, doctors that are working with it are getting that. It's also going to our first responders, fire and EMS, and it will be going out to law enforcement as well. After that, I believe that the next group is those that are working in nursing homes, hospice, assisted living, and the elderly in those. About 40% of all of the deaths that have taken place across the country have been in nursing home, hospice, assisted living, and so that's the most vulnerable population. So it'll go there. The general population, we should have it at the very earliest, I'm thinking end of March, April, maybe into May and June, just depending. The only other thing that I've heard is it has to be stored at about negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit, and then they thaw it out to administer it, and it has to be administered within 5 days of being thawed out, otherwise it spoils. And so they've had some in other places where people have decided, hey, I don't want it, or they've thawed out too much. If that happens, then they will give it to pretty much anybody there so that it doesn't go to waste. But that's the last I heard.
Okay. Good to know. Thanks for the report. Okay, any other issues you guys have?
Just with the next thing coming up.
You have an issue with it? All right, now we'll get to the changing of the chair. Looks like because of the new year and we're rotating, it's time to appoint a new chair. And I think it's Commissioner Summers' turn, so.
I didn't hear a motion, so.
I would make a motion that we appoint Commissioner Summers as the commission chair for the year 2021.
I'm going to abstain. I'll second that motion.
Thanks, because I was about to.
Kicks me.
All right, I have a motion by Commissioner Scott, a second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's a
Aye.
good thing our chair can make motions.
So,
And second.
all right,
Okay.
well, it's all yours.
Yeah, thanks.
Don't break it.
Just so you know, the only person that's ever used this was him.
You broke it.
And he broke it.
That was one meeting. Five times.
It was a rough meeting.
5 times.
Nameplates.
Yeah, oh yeah. Good eye
You don't want to be me for a
for a Cowboys fan. Just kidding. Thanks. It's been a while.
You look good
2
there.
years.
Oh, good, the drawer's out of the way.
You might
Sorry,
look good
there's a
there.
drawer underneath there, and he's a little taller than I am, and it always hits his.
It's very painful. Anyway,
Okay, sorry, we'll get back to it. We're at 504, so we're request for assistance with tax on parcel number 031380016, Suzanne Rantiera. Is there some chairs? You want to pull those chairs over? And just state your name. Yeah, put it down and just
they're close.
just state your name and
You can pull it down if you want.
where you're from, if you will.
What? Oh, my name is Suzanne H. Quinteria.
Okay. And what are you guys here for? So it's, he can help you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So mom just got out of the assisted living home at Pioneer,
okay.
and you guys are definitely right that the COVID really hit there. She got COVID, and we're looking for assistance on the house taxes, and hoping to not lose our home, and to have to come up with that $5,800, all in 1 lump sum.
Okay.
She's currently been paying $200 a month. She is on a budget, and
Fixed income.
we were also would like to request if there's any chance of waiving some of the interest or the late fees.
Okay.
Whatever they can help you whatever you can help me with would be great.
Okay. Think I seen Tom in here.
Yeah, he's in the back.
Is it on a 5-year, at the back of the 5-year? Is that where we're at with this one? Do you know?
I believe
I
so.
didn't do it, huh?
The documents that I have here show that it's actually back 10 years.
It was bankruptcy for 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this actually goes 2010 through 2015, and then from what I understand, the bankruptcy was discharged. Was that in 18 or 19?
Not sure.
Okay.
I just barely moved back home from Arizona,
Okay.
so I'll be helping mom out.
So to get it up, I know you've been paying $200 a month, but
Correct.
I'm just, usually if you can get that last year's taken care of, so that gives you one more year, that's the problem. So what's the yearly?
Well, from what I understand, when they do pay, it goes to
The
the
last-
last year.
Yeah.
And so you're always going to be in arrears on this, especially where it goes clear back to 2010. Is that correct, Tom?
Yeah, it goes to the most current year.
Yeah.
You mean the current year as in 2020, or are you meaning 2010?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everything's going to the back?
Everything's going to the back.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. So you either got to get a lump sum plus what's going back, or else it does go. And I'd hate to see you lose your home, that's for sure. So,
It looks like, just as I read through the notes, that it was found that it was discharged, and we found out that it was discharged in August of this year. So if it's been in bankruptcy for 5 years, do you know what the disposition on the taxes is during that time, Tom?
I mean, they still continue.
right.
So would we have, I mean, at this point, would there be 10 years worth?
Yeah, if a parcel is in bankruptcy, we are not allowed to take it to tax sale.
Right. But the taxes continue to accrue unless they were being paid. I mean, obviously that would have gone about against the balance.
Can you hear what he's saying? Can you come sit up here on the corner so they can hear what you're saying, Tom? I don't think they understand.
Yeah, just from the notes that I'm seeing, it's showing delinquencies of 2010 through 2015, but I don't have any information here as to 2016 through 2020. So,
We see the 2016 to the 2020. We do see that bill
okay.
as well, and that was a grand total,
Of 5,800, you said?
correct?
So to take them off the tax sale, they would have to pay not only that 200, but plus this year's taxes, or would it all be put back? They have to pay all of it.
And we have been making monthly payments now, or she has.
Yeah.
Like I stated, I just came back to town. She has a payee also, that's, and it's a direct deposit, and it gets sent over to you guys now.
Okay.
Like I stated, the interest, the late fees, whatever that you can manage to take that off, if we do have to come up with the remaining balance, and is the remaining due by the end of May? Or when is that deadline?
Usually the tax sale is usually it's the third Thursday in May.
Yeah, so it'd be the end of May.
That's around the middle of May.
Yeah, so if you can do something in this early spring.
What are the taxes and penalties on it? Minus 5,800?
Well, that's the thing that I'm not sure of.
That's what I couldn't see.
Yeah, because the info that I have here shows that it was, this is showing the grand total due as of November 4th, 2020 of 6503. And so if there's been payments that have been made since 11/4 that, aren't posted, then it could obviously be different because there could have been 2 payments that were made.
I have the December one if you'd like to look at that.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
You can hand it to me, Bob. These are number guys. I'm the farm kid.
stated, she has been going through hardship and
Right, yeah.
whatnot.
So they've had the abatement and everything, or they have never come in for the abatement?
We have.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's got the abatement on here for, I see it for 14 and for 17, but I don't see it on other years.
I believe we got the abatement for 9 out of the 10 years.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you see penalties and interest? I didn't see any penalties and interest on it.
Yeah, there's. Interest. I mean, it's pretty substantial. So,
I see if we can,
The interest alone for 2012 is $390.
Let's do something with interest.
interest and penalties. Yeah, I'd entertain a motion. If you guys got something you wanna bring up and discuss. Cause honestly, I'd like to see, the penalties and interest be taken care of as long as they can get it paid by the middle of May. Cause that's a lot.
I don't have a problem doing that where you're trying to make payments and trying to get it squared if you can get it,
We started work at Mountain West Construction. So
uh-huh.
Okay.
I'm paying 200, so
Yeah, if you can get it taken care of
That'll give you
by
six,
like March.
that'll give you, by May.
Well,
So that'll
yeah.
give you 6 months to get together with whatever else it is, so, right?
5 is May, right?
Yeah,
about
5 months.
5
Yeah.
months.
so, let's see.
If you don't wanna add it up, you can make a motion to just take that part off and we can have them discuss that later with what the actual is. Was that a motion?
I'll make the motion to forego the taxes and penalties.
The penalties and
The
interest?
penalties and interest, sorry.
Okay.
Penalties and interest on that, since they are making the payments so they can get caught up.
Yeah, no, the only thing that I was checking is, I mean, it still looks like the taxes on it, not including the penalties and the interest, are at least $2,800. So, I mean, if you're doing $200 a month,
He just said that.
that would knock it down to 1,000, but you'd still have, I mean, it's about 2,800 total that would need to be paid by the middle of May without the penalties and the interest to get current.
Okay.
So,
I'm pretty sure, like I stated, that the abatement did go through for 9 out of the 10 years. Is there a way to verify that?
yeah, we would have to check with the auditor's office on that and look, so,
If he's on a fixed income and living on a
Right.
loan.
Right. I'm
yeah.
sure she qualifies.
Not
Just
to
whether or not
interrupt,
it happens.
Commish, but we need to open up that public hearing.
Oh, yep. Okay, just a sec. I need to open up a public hearing for the CBDG 21 program. So I'm just opening it up, so now we can continue.
Okay. So,
But if,
with the penalties and interest, that seems more feasible, honestly, with where I'm working at, to be able to
Yeah, if you can
come up
help,
with a surplus,
okay,
that'd be
take
great.
care of that.
Okay,
all right.
Yeah,
you second
that
that?
sounds fair.
Yeah, so we've got the motion. I'll second that.
I've got a motion by Commissioner Hatfield and a second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
And my last question is, if there is any other abatements, are we still allowed to apply for that for 2017 or 2018?
I don't.
Those
think
have
you-
to be on an annualized
Yeah.
basis, and so it would be too late to apply for those retroactive.
Just going
Yeah.
forward, make sure you get
Yeah.
everything that's available to you. So I would call and talk to Tom tomorrow and see what that figure would be and then have that for you.
All right, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Okay,
Yep,
Hope you get better.
yep, thanks for coming in.
thanks.
Thank you.
See the fire.
Yep,
Thanks, Tom.
thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Then we have, at 5:09, we're a little late, request for adjustment on delinquent property taxes for Barron? You've been here a while. Sorry.
That's all right, no worries.
You need to just sit down and, sorry, state your name and where you're from, please.
My name is Brian Barron. I live here in Brigham City.
Okay.
Also here regarding personal property taxes, I just acquired the Barron Woolen Mill property
Oh,
at 56 North, 500 East a couple weeks ago.
good for you.
And there's back owing taxes on the property, about $3,600. The property was owned by my family for over 100 years, from 1870s to 1988. And then it was sold and changed hands several times until 2010, when it was bought by a nonprofit. The nonprofit had plans to renovate it, but it burned in 2014, again in 2015. The nonprofit at that point stopped paying taxes, and they actually entered the process of winding up and dissolving. And the city took over the management and control of the property, put a fence around it, started cleaning up the asbestos and other debris on the property.
Right.
So taxes haven't been paid since 2015. I would like to have that amount abated. I think that that is in the best interest of the county and the state, because what I plan to do with that money is I'm financing this cleanup with a home equity line of credit. If I have that additional capital, I can use it to clean up the property and get it done quicker. I plan to build a home on there, which will increase property values, and in the long run, I think that would be better for the county.
That's awesome. It's kind of been an eyesore for quite a while, hasn't it?
It has been, and
That's a great history, though, that you gave us. That's awesome.
yeah.
Well, it's got a lot of sentimental value to your family, I'm sure.
Yeah, my dad's been having fun picking around on the property and
See what I can
finding
find.
treasures here and there. And we're going to try and save a couple pieces of equipment and the original pad and some of the wall from the original mill.
Wow.
Just keep some of the history there alive.
Okay.
Thoughts?
I know that we've run up against this before. We had something similar. This is from 2015 through 2019, so it was actually Brigham City Corporation that was in possession and held title to the property at that time?
Title was never transferred to the city. The city didn't want to accept title because then they would
Be responsible
be
for the
responsible
cleanup?
for the cleanup, right? And so they put the fence around it and they essentially managed the property, but title was still held by the nonprofit.
Yeah, that's the only question I had, because that's what we ran into on the other one. Because the nonprofits technically have to apply for,
The abatement.
they have to apply for the nonprofit status for the waiver of the property taxes on an annual basis.
Right.
And so since they dissolved or were rolling it up, they wouldn't have applied, and so the taxes would be assessed by the county. So I'm sure that's the reason that it's showing that it's in arrears.
Right.
So, okay.
But who was in? So who did you actually buy it from?
The nonprofit. And then the city waived their liens also to help with the cleanup cost. The nonprofit, I spoke with Soren Simonson. He was kind of left holding the bag and responsible for winding up the nonprofit and not the assets. He said that he did apply for nonprofit status. I don't have a copy of his application and don't know whatever became of it. But that was years ago, I'm sure.
That would be the only concern that I have, is because typically when it does come out of that, if there are property taxes due, then it's the responsibility of the seller to pay any delinquent property taxes.
Yeah.
And so if that, can be recouped from the seller,
That's what I was.
that would be the,
Yeah, they don't have any assets and no money.
So-
They had the Merrill Planing Mill property, which was surrendered to Brigham City, and the Barron Woolen Mill property, which
So-
I have now. So they don't
I'm
have
just
anything.
wondering if they would have some assets, because I
Do-
can't imagine that they gave you the property for 10 or
Free.
15 cents. So,
Yeah, it was a deal where I worked out the terms of the cleanup with the city and got the city off their back.
okay.
And that's why they were willing to surrender. the
How much do you think
Gotcha.
How much do you think the lien was worth that the city abated?
Oh, I would imagine it was fairly substantial.
hundreds of thousands.
That's what I was just gonna say. And honestly,
Yeah.
in my opinion, if $3,000 gets them into
Yeah, if they've
the
wound
rest
it
of it
down.
so
So, okay, no, that was the only question that I had, similar to the last one that we had, so.
and if you're gonna move there, moving forward, there gonna be some taxes you're gonna have to pay.
Yeah, definitely. Mm.
You're a young guy. We should
It's a
be able
great
to recoup
location.
that. So,
Well, and we did. I mean, we had that rash of fires where, you know,
ugh,
3 or 4 historic properties all burned in a very short period of time, and so it's nice to see something coming up from the ashes at this point. So,
Yeah,
Okay.
tragic.
I'd entertain a motion if you feel so inclined.
okay. Yeah, I would make a motion that we forgive the taxes, the back taxes due on this from 2015 through 2019
On parcel number
on parcel number where's it at?
03.
Oh, here we go. 03-102-0086.
I'll second that.
I got a motion by Commissioner Scott, and a second by Commissioner Hatfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks, Brian.
Come back and let us see pictures when you get it all built.
Okay.
That'd be awesome.
Thank you.
Better hurry, because these guys are only here for 2 more years, and I only got 4, so. Did you lose your mask?
Yeah.
Is it on the ground? Oh, there it is. Okay. Thanks.
Thanks.
Yep.
Okay, Martin James. I was just gonna say something funny about this. Will take the sting out of the rest of the meeting, but who wants to say that with the funny jokes about the beekeepers?
heard that one yet.
Oh, really?
That's a good one.
I'm here till Thursday. Try the veal. Okay, can you bring the microphone up to you?
Yeah,
State your
how's
name
that?
and
I'll
that's
slide up.
good.
Is
State
that
your
good?
name. Yep.
Okay.
State your name and purpose.
My name is Martin James. I'm the Box Elder County and the Cache County Bee Inspector. One of my duties is to educate and help bee inspector honeybees. We don't deal with the wasp and the yellow jackets. That's a different guy. We do a lot of work with honeybees. We do a lot of work in partnership with Intermountain Farmers Association. They give me a place to teach classes. And we do those all through the summer and mainly work with hobbyist beekeepers because all the commercial guys already know what to do. Any questions that you have, or
I know I could hear Scott's.
Scott's
No, I'm
gears are
just-
turning?
This is uncharted territory for me. I don't know exactly what a bee inspector does. So,
So we work
even
clo-
on the commercial ones, do you go out and actually inspect their hives or
We
the
do go out and
processing
inspect our hives. I work
operations?
closely with Joey Caputo at the state USDA lab. And so we do a lot of inspections. They do a lot of training in Salt Lake that I attend. There's a bee inspector for every county. As long as, I think it's 4 people in that county petition the county appoints a bee inspector. We watch for American foul brood and European foul brood. There's a reverse call, like the reverse 911 for bee inspectors. It's not the reverse 911, of course, but which is American foul brood and European foul brood are communicable diseases. That means if my hives are infected and you're around me, I can kill your hives if I don't treat mine right away. And so that's a problem with income, and bees are expensive.
Right.
And so that's one of our duties, is to make sure that those are spotted and treated quickly. And we work with beekeepers that have hives that collapse or die, that we diagnose those and take care of those problems.
So how far along do you go? Are you strictly at the hive, and then once the honey's actually collected, that's the Department of Ag?
Yeah, that would
Okay.
fall under, once the honey is collected and taken out of the comb, then that goes under the health department.
Okay.
Do you go out to like the Andersons that do the seed bees, like the bees that just go out and actually pollinate things for seeds?
Yeah, but a lot of that is done with leafcutter bees.
Okay,
With
that's
like seed pollination for
Right.
alfalfa.
Right.
They really don't like the honeybees. In fact, I received a letter from Monsanto, take your bees and leave. And so, yeah, well, they're all genetically modified crops now. So if
That's
my
what I was
honeybees
gonna say.
overfly that and bring it back to your crop
Yep.
and pollinate, then you have their genetic material now. And they are all upset about that.
Wow.
So the honeybee world is quite,
Keep your bees to
keep
yourself.
your bees to yourself.
And there you have it.
Wow.
Wow.
It's the
That's
version of commercial espionage. So, there you have it. Okay.
Okay, well,
Have you had a chance to look at that contract at all, Steve?
Yeah, we looked at the contract, and I think it's still in effect. I mean,
It is.
It's an indefinite contract. I don't see any problems with it. I think we can continue on unless there's something that needs to be
No.
changed in it.
Okay. No, I was just wondering, it showed here that it hadn't been signed off by you, so I was wondering if you'd looked at it, so. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the last one that was executed was 2007.
Yeah.
So more than anything, I mean, we just had a question was asked.
Who was I?
So
Well, yeah.
it's.
And what happens when you
let's-
leave? Do you have the Santa Claus card that when you go away, the new bee guy just takes your thing? And,
The last ones there's only been, I think, 3 in Cache Valley, and that goes back almost 100 years. And so it's kind of a lifelong position, and so I don't know. I'm glad to do it.
Okay.
It's what I do. It's my living that I create, and it's a lot of fun to share that knowledge and help people.
Oh, I love raw honey. I got friends all over the place that do hobby bees.
Well, that's why I had to get my own bees. I can't afford my habit.
There you go. Okay.
Appreciate your work.
No, that's awesome.
Thanks
That's
for
good to
letting us
know.
in.
Thank you.
Thanks
Okay.
for educating us.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know if we need to entertain a motion, do we?
Anything, do we? It's contracts in effect.
Contract is,
He's in effect.
Okay.
I don't know if
well,
he's-
forever.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right.
Come back more often.
Oh, hey, invite me back.
Yeah,
Okay.
keep the bees.
I was just gonna say, I don't want to say that, but
Some
that'd be sweet.
some honeycomb.
Man,
Thanks,
it's
Mark.
gonna be the whole thing all day long. How come they keep moving that chair back? I'm
It's
just
where it
curious.
started.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we're back to the public hearing. Let me read this real quick, unless someone of you guys want to read it.
How about it?
You're over CBDG. There you go.
That's a lot of stuff there. Okay.
That's why I didn't want to read it.
Box Elder County will now open its first public hearing for the 2021 CDBG Small Cities Program. The purpose of this hearing is to gain citizen input regarding community needs and potential CDBG projects. Approximately $700,000 is expected to be available in the Bear River region for CDBG projects. $575,000 of which will be available through competitive grants for projects that meet U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development national objectives to benefit low and moderate income individuals. Projects may include local infrastructure projects such as water system improvements, construction of a fire station, renovation of facilities, or projects that improve the availability and quality of housing for low and moderate income individuals and families, such as purchasing land for subsidized housing or rehabilitation of homes and apartments. In the past, Box Elder County has received a CDBG grant of $200,000 on behalf of the Park Valley Fire District for construction of a new fire station in 2009. Projects that displace low to moderate income individuals are not likely to receive funding. We invite those in attendance to bring forward other qualifying project ideas if desired. We'd like to ask that the representatives of the public and nonprofit organizations that are in attendance specifically for this hearing, please sign the attendance roll, including your name, address, and telephone number. If you do have any questions or comments, we would like to invite you to share them. Please identify yourself by name before you speak. The clerk will include your name in the minutes, and we would like to specifically respond to your questions and suggestions during the hearing. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, Brian, but if somebody does want to apply for this, there is mandatory training in November that they need to attend. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. Yeah, they need to attend that. It is a rather involved grant application, and so you definitely want to hit the training. It's a required portion that you have to do that, and then the awards come out, and it just depends on the year how many applications are received. So.
Okay. So we'll open up the public hearing. If anybody wants to speak specifically to these projects, I would ask if you'd come up now.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, come on. Just state your name and pull the chair in front and nail it down, will you? There you go.
Good evening, I'm Brian Carver. I'm with the Bear River Association of Governments in Logan, and I'm the Northern Utah Project Manager for Community Development Block Grant applications under contract with the state of Utah that manages the Small Cities Program. And just so that this is on the record and it'll make Julie Tanner feel better, I'm here just to mention that Julie Tanner from the East Grouse Creek Pipeline Water Company would like to apply for funding through the CDBG program this year. I think she's been in communication with some of you as a non-governmental entity, the pipeline company is required to seek sponsorship from the county in order to make an application. That's just a rule from
Should talk to you.
the federal government level that
Yeah, there's been a few emails going back and forth.
Right.
Yeah, the only concern that I had on that, and I think I've mentioned it, is if the county had any liability being the sponsor, if anything doesn't happen or there's major maintenance, a rupture, and something needs to be taken care of, who's responsible for it? That was the only concern that I have, is if it would fall back on the county
Kind of like the last
to
one.
take care of that.
The
Yep.
canal, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it doesn't fall back on us to take care of an issue that they may have, if we're strictly a pass-through or sponsoring entity, I'm fine.
the county is considered a pass-through entity through the subcontractors agreement that would be established were the water company to receive the award. The only liability that the county would be under is to ensure that the scope of work for the grant that's received be completed according to their application. So, they want to use the funds to put in a new chlorination system, essentially, for their water source. And so, as long as the money is spent on that,
Okay.
then the project is completed, then the county's liability is over. If for some reason
It extends.
that portion of the work is not completed according to the contract, then the money would have to be repaid. If the water company can't do that, then the county would be on the hook. In 15 years of doing this, I've only seen that happen once, out of dozens of projects, and that was a perfect storm of everything falling apart in the Great Recession in 2007 to require a project to be paid back. And we were able to resolve it without the
Having to worry
sponsoring
about-
entity ending up paying it out of pocket. But, so,
Does the state water get involved with this one then, since it's messing with the water system?
well, the scope of work will have to be done to their satisfaction.
Okay,
To make
that's what I was
sure
just
that
gonna
the
say,
water
'cause-
system is approved by them.
Criteria.
But they have no other oversight of the project. And once the project is completed, the county's involvement, at least from this grant award standpoint, is at an end, so,
And the health department also, right?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions for
thank you.
Brian?
No,
Thanks for doing
Thanks for
this,
your work on
because
that.
CBDG is, one of those acronyms that
It's,
the middle
it's,
government things just,
Technical.
yeah.
it's squirrely. I mean, I've been doing this for 15 years, and it took me 7 or 8 to really feel like and it's the federal government, so they throw us a new curveball every year with a new rule or something that we have to keep track of, but.
Yeah, and then you go to the state meetings and they're a lot of fun, huh?
let's keep this at the local level.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll leave.
Thanks,
that there.
Brian. Thanks for coming
Brian.
over. You do a great job.
Sorry. Push that back a bit. Okay, Deanna Hardy from Brigham. I, as a citizen, oppose BRAG because this money has to come from the citizens, and it's just another socialist program. It takes from the citizen, and then it's like a wealth distribution program. And this is not what the government is supposed to be involved in. The government's proper role is to protect each individual citizen in their right to life, liberty, and property. And their money is their property. These things can be taken care of through the free market, and private companies could be doing these things. And I don't think, as a citizen here, I want to oppose this. I've done it before, because I've studied BRAG, and they receive a lot of the citizens' money to pay for employees and their buildings. And last time I checked, it was like $2 million just to pay the employees. And that's a lot of money that the people could have in their own pocket to take care of their own situations that they come across. So just as a citizen, I'm standing up for liberty and protection of each individual citizen in their life, liberty, and property. Thank you.
Anybody else wants to come? And seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
I'd make a motion that we close the public hearing.
I'll second that.
I got a motion by Commissioner Hadfield and a second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thanks, Brian. Do you need anything else from us? Okay,
Thanks, sir.
thanks for everything. Okay, Mitch.
All right, this is a resolution to renew our recycling market development zone. We've had this for probably 11, 12 years, maybe more, probably more. Anyway, this resolution, I guess from 97, so there you go. It's right on the resolution. But this would put it on there for 5 more years. We have a number of businesses in the county that utilize this program. And it helps the businesses encourages them to recycle more of their material or to utilize recycled materials as well in their product. So I don't know if you have any questions or whatnot. It's something we've done for quite a few years now. So.
Is there any reason they don't roll the tire recycling into this?
I don't know. It's a good question. It's now it got moved from the
Yeah, I see.
Office of the Rural Development and under GoEd over to the Environmental Quality. Is that who got it? But
So I'm wondering if they ought to
they might make
put that
change.
together. Okay. Steve, and you haven't had a chance to look at it, so
Didn't we look at this and draft it?
I sent this to you. I just haven't gotten anything back. I think that's what Commissioner Summers
Yeah.
was talking about. So I don't know.
I think we looked at it, but I'll
We-
look at it again.
And we probably looked at it, but
you can probably make a motion pending Steve's. Okay, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty short. I read through there, and it's mostly, I mean, it's not even necessarily in the form of a contract. It's more of a
The ability
resolution,
to.
a lot of whereases.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would make a motion that we approve resolution number 20-27, the reinstatement of the recycling market development zone, pending County Attorney Hadfield's
He said
final
commissioner.
approval.
You don't want my review. Okay. I'll second that.
I got a motion by Commissioner Scott and a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, Mitch.
thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mitch.
Janica's proxy. State your name and tell us why you're here.
Hi, so it's Diane Black, and I just want to go over the policy number 25. It's the COVID emergency pandemic leave. Last year, March 18th, President Trump signed the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. We're just kind of asking to be able to.
You pull that forward. Sorry, I don't think.
Oh, you're fine.
There you
We
go.
just want to be able to roll over everybody's COVID sick leave that they have not used over until this year, until March 31st.
Okay. I think it was a good idea. So,
I'll make a motion that we approve the COVID-19 leave.
number 25, right?
Mm-hmm.
25.
Policy number 25.
Policy number 25.
Yeah, policy.
Okay.
25.
And that's through March 31st
First.
of this year? Okay.
Mhm.
I'll second that.
I got a motion by Commissioner Hadfield, second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Diane Black.
Thank you, Diane.
Oh, Scott Lyons
Skipping the freedom one.
with a lot more hair.
Wow.
All right, so Marcus Wager in for Scott Lyons today. We have the Wayne Firth minor subdivision amendment. This is taking one parcel and making it two for a new building lot. This is located about 9980 north, 10800 west. And it has been through the whole review process, and everybody recommends approval on it.
Cool.
Very good.
I was wondering how come John was here. Now I know.
Awesome. I'd make a motion that we approve the Wayne Firth minor subdivision amendment, one lot.
Second?
I got a motion by Commissioner Scott and a second by Commissioner Hatfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Do you want to sign that now?
Yeah, if I can.
Mr. Chair.
I forgot. I thought Hatfield will sign it. Bill, you can start heading up. You're next, right?
Yeah.
Thanks, Marcus.
Thanks.
I'm here today to present like to get a letter approved to give comment on the proposed rule change, R 930-5-8. This rule change that will clarify railroad operators are responsible to perform and pay for the maintenance of railroad crossings within their right-of-way. I guess right now, the UDOT's had a little bit of an issue as far as hearing that some local municipalities have been confronted by the railroad company to help pay for some of the maintenance within a railroad crossing. We haven't up in this county that I know of, but I think they're being proactive in trying to get this rule clarified to make, the old rule just said that they would perform the work within it. It didn't clarify also paying for it and being responsible on that end. So that's all this is doing, I think, is protecting the municipalities and putting that cost, which has always been that way, on the railroad company.
So UDOT came forward to us and decided that they'd rather have this put in now until we don't have a problem in the future. So I thought it was a good idea, because when me and Bill talked about it, we had how many in the county that we would have to have maintenance for?
I believe 18 is unincorporated.
And unincorporated, then you start talking about every
through small towns.
every municipality, you'd probably add another 50, you know, to that. So I think it's a good thing that we, you know, modernize that verbiage, so.
Yeah, supposedly they're looking at getting it even through the legislature or pushing something. So I think we need to
That's why-
fight back against this, because it's their tracks, it's their system, it's their problem.
Yeah.
I mean, if we were ever to go in and try to do maintenance
without,
and it didn't meet their specs or didn't work,
Yeah, what liability?
The liability alone
exactly. I mean,
would be great.
it would be like the Salt Lake Airport telling Salt Lake County, "Hey, come in and maintain this because it's here."
Yep.
I mean,
Exactly.
it makes no sense. So.
Okay. Entertain a motion.
Do we need to do a motion, or just
Yeah, we're
asking them to do a letter?
gonna sign a letter, so
Okay,
letter
I'll make a
support.
motion, we do a letter support for the Utah Administration Rule R 930-5-8, railroad crossing maintenance.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hatfield and a second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
So
Thank you.
as soon as you guys get it together, then
I think he's got one drafted.
you got one drafted?
I do have one, but if you want, I'll put the new chair's name on it, and
You can have
Sign
you can have him sign it.
fine.
That'll-
Oh, it just says county commission on there now,
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, you're official.
The same one
Okay.
that we have?
so. Yeah, same one, so she's got a better copy there.
Yeah, sign that one.
Here, do you want that one then?
However, it doesn't say who it's going to or anything.
Oh, there we go.
You know who it's going to?
We can refine it and get back to you if you want.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks for the work on that. Hey, we're finally up to you. Yeah, there you go. Removal from ag protection for Kathy Holmgreen, Resolution 21-01. You can come up and,
I don't have anything to say.
well, just kind of tell these guys why it's being removed and
Give us the
why you're here.
background
And
of it.
so just a little bit of background. Just pull your chair up so everybody can.
My name is Skylar Chambers. I'm here on behalf of Lyle and Catherine Holmgren. We are proposing that a piece of land be removed from the ag protection area so that we can continue the Holmgren Estates over. And
How many acres is it?
it is 42.
That's what I was just gonna say. Does it say that, Marta, on the, okay. I was just making sure, because if you're not, then you might have problems.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't know if people notice, but ag protection actually has to be re-upped every 20 years too. We found that out the hard way. So, you know, I don't know how long it's been under ag protection, but it might actually be out of ag protection.
I believe that it was re-upped.
Okay.
We looked at it. It hasn't been 20 years.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'd entertain a motion to remove the ag protection.
Yeah, I see something of a revised boundary here in 98.
That was when somebody else took another piece out of
Yeah.
ag protection.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it'd been updated since then, so.
Yeah, so we actually took another piece out of it. Craig Adams took another piece out, I believe, 3 years ago. And so then as
Now
well.
it's 40 acres.
Does that technically re-up it when you revise it?
I don't know.
It doesn't.
I wouldn't think it does. I think it would just shrink it.
Yep.
So that would be the only concern that I have. If it hasn't actually been re-upped, if it's just been revised, then technically,
Everything else that's been taken out.
How would I?
22
find that
years.
Marla?
I want to think, because we had this happen a couple years ago, that if they don't pull the committee together, it's assumed it's going to continue.
Continue.
But I would have to double check on that, but
Okay.
I think that's.
Okay, because that might make the other ones with Craig and stuff, I'm sure he'd be happy to know that it's actually out of ag protection.
Very happy. It would make my life a lot easier.
Yeah, I'll double check on that.
Could you let me know on that?
Have you got his information?
Yeah. I'll
Okay,
do that.
awesome.
We're best friends now.
We hang out all the time.
Awesome.
Make
Okay.
sure she buys you lunch.
Yeah.
Okay,
There's 3 parcels on there, you might want to just say that.
okay.
So it's 3 separate parcels that make up the 42 acres that are coming out?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
And it's
Yeah.
42.86.
42.86, okay. Yeah, I would make a motion that we approve the removal from the ag protection area of the 3 separate parcels totaling 42.86 acres from the Lyle and Catherine Holmgren Trust, their ag protection area, by resolution number 21-01.
Did you want to say the 3? Do you want us to actually say the 3 parcels?
You know, I think,
He said adding up to.
let's just do the
Okay.
resolution numbers. Like.
Okay.
All right,
I'll second that.
I've got a motion by Commissioner Scott and a second by Commissioner Hatfield. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thanks.
Thank you guys.
Tell Craig Chicken for not coming, so, I don't know. I'll call him tomorrow.
Do it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we're at indigent burial, Chrissy. And April. Would you both please state your name from the county?
April Jones. Chrissy Bennett. So we've been working together to try to look at the indigent burial, what we've got right now in place. It was originally set up in 1991. So Chrissy has contacted several of counties around us to find out what they pay. And I contacted the actual funeral homes that are in our county to determine more about their process, and then we turned everything over to Steve.
Okay.
So it really kind of depends on what you want to do. I mean, over the last several years, what we've done is when one comes forward, we just approve it. There hasn't been a contract, it's just been, will you pay it, and we do. I think at one point we set the value at $750 is the maximum we would pay.
Yeah, we raised it.
So there's a couple things you could do. You could put it out for bid and have just one mortuary do all of them. Request for proposal. You could probably continue doing it the same way you're doing. Just have them apply if they want to be paid. You could revise the policy, talk about how you get the policy refers to mortuaries that aren't around anymore, it's an old policy. So it's just a matter of what you think you would like to do going forward. One of the issues that we have, it sounds like, is the mortuaries are wanting more than what they're billing more than what we've agreed to pay.
Well, and it's like I told you when we raised it from 500 to 750, the state actually is making them pay $200 just for documentation fee.
Right.
So basically they're burying somebody for $500, which they're losing money on. Did they say how much?
Yeah, I got an average of around $1,400. They said that there is a fee from the state to get a permit to cremate. They do have to purchase a death certificate. One funeral home, Myers, is able to use their remembrance garden to put the indigent's remains. Another funeral home usually purchases a plot after they have enough of them, and they put 3 in the same plot. But they have to purchase the plot and open it and close it.
Is there a cemetery in the county that needs that kind of money, that somebody can go out and purchase a plot?
I don't know any of the financial things of the district.
I was just wondering if that's something that we could maybe talk to some of the cemetery sections and see if they'd be willing to put some of the plots towards that. I mean, I think we've only had,
5?
four
or
or five since we've been here in 8
Yeah.
years. So that's not even one a year. I think putting it out to bid doesn't make much sense because,
Who would bid on it?
yeah, nobody would bid on it, honestly.
But it probably does need to be updated if you've got.
I think you need to update it.
Home names on there and stuff that aren't even in existence anymore. That it ought to be
The other
updated.
question I had is I'm not sure how an indigent person gets to one of the mortuaries. Is there a rotation? Because I know we've had different mortuaries.
Closest person that was called. Is that right, Sheriff?
So what they've told me is one of them said that it's determined by the state. Usually the state medical examiner's office will contact a mortuary to come and pick up the
That who's closest, or
And I'm not sure how they decide that.
isn't that what happens if somebody's found, like the one out in
Correct.
Whites Valley? It's just kind of whoever's the closest proximity, they call the mortuary.
I think so.
I'm getting 2 head nods in the back too by the,
Sorry.
no, you're fine. Sorry, April. You probably thought I was talking through you.
If that's the case, we will never know for sure where it's gonna come from.
Right.
If we said everything's gotta go through Myers, they may not be the one ending up with the.
That's what I don't think we probably ought to just,
Well, the other question that I have is, do they try to take somebody that resided in a certain area back to their home area? Because it looks like there was a transfer charge on this one of, I mean, they were transferred from someplace 75 miles. So we could have been the closest.
That was from Salt Lake.
yeah, remember that one?
Yeah, it was,
Been there a long time.
that was the medical examiner's office for a long time.
Yeah.
They had passed away here, but that was the transport.
Okay.
I think all that's required is if they pass away in the county.
Right.
They don't have to have been a permanent resident.
Yeah,
They
that's-
pass away in the county.
That's what I thought on this one, so.
But where
okay.
they're just assigning different ones, whoever's closest, then we don't need to state in there, but we probably ought to revise that
give 'em
and
a-
clean it up so that there's not.
That's the question. That's why I think we've done it the way we've done it. It's worked fine, is we just have them, we have the commission approve whenever they apply.
Yeah.
But the policy is quite a bit different than that.
And I think we budget for 5,000 a year or something like that. I think we put in a budget, we've never even come close to,
See, and I thought it was lower. I thought we were only at like 1,500.
Did too.
did we
I
do?
think you only had like
Did we
3
do
that you
two?
could do in a year. for
Yeah, I think it was like 1,500, and I think one year we had 2, and we were at that amount, or actually went
Little
over
over.
it. Because the problem that we have
Maybe ask
here
Tom.
is
For sure, and maybe we ought to,
just the itemized charges on this one. If we had the $1,500 budget, we're over it on one, and we're at January 6th. So obviously, this one's been hanging out there for a while, but I mean, we've got a new year. So my preference would be that we establish some sort of maximum where they, you know, are covering costs, but I don't know that this necessarily needs to be a profit center for a mortuary either.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to put it.
Years, like even before you guys were commissioners, they did have a max of 500 that they would approve. When you look back in
I remember
historic-
that. That's why we upped it to 750 though.
Yeah, so they don't usually pay the whole thing.
Right. And you say the lowest thing they said was 1,400 to actually do it.
Correct.
Yeah, well, for Gillis, for our indigent right now that's at their mortuary, their total is 1,637. So, but I do know, like, was it Weber County, they only paid 350? 450? 400.
Cache Valley that paid.
No, Cache Valley pays the highest. They said that they pay anywhere between 7 and 9, but they've never broke 1,000. And Davis County, Weber County was the lowest. And I could have sworn Weber County was.
Have you checked with any of their mortuaries, like the one out in Tremont or
Yes,
Myers? And what?
Rudd,
what was
Myers,
their,
and
yeah, what was their
Gillis.
pricing? Was it relatively the same?
Similar, yeah.
About
$1,400.
12 to 1,400, I believe.
Weaver was 325 flat fee,
But,
325 from Weaver.
okay, I was like, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it was included in the work that you sent.
Weaver just probably sends into the
Okay.
recycling.
I'm just looking at the fees on here that are, kind of fixed expenses. And it looks like there's $30 for the death certificate. Medical examiner and transfer or transit permit fee is $157. So it's $187 that they have to pay no matter what. The transfer fee, I'm sure that they just bill that out at, whatever they would normally bill it out. The cremation charge is gonna be pretty standard, I would think, at around 300. So you're looking at 487 to kind of cover, bare minimum. After that, it's basically staff time.
Well, and then that's when you turn into the sexton and buying a plot or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say.
That's when it turns over to a whole different can
Yeah.
of worms.
But even at 750, I still think we're median,
Yes.
so, okay.
Just leave it as is.
I think we just leave it as is, update the policy with the people on it, with the telephone numbers, and then maybe do a whoever's in charge, if we want the commission secretary to be in charge of the indigent when they come in, and so kind of put that in the policy, so whoever is,
Yeah, there just would need to be a determination that they are in fact indigent and that there's no other
right. Well,
relatives, and then
Resources.
Joe Rudd basically told me what they go through when something like this happens, and they really look to see if there's anything they can get to, so.
So I would suggest, I think they're waiting on this one, aren't they?
Yes, they've had him, since November or December? Yeah.
I would suggest probably that you do it the way we've been doing it,
Right.
just approve or not approve, and then we'll change I think if we wait for the policy, they're not gonna wanna wait that long.
Well, I don't think we're gonna change, we'll approve this, because I don't think we're gonna change any more than the 750.
And so I don't know where we
Do you?
stand. Has it been, have they been found to be indigent and no other, I don't know where that stands on this case?
According to the affidavit that Gillis sent me, then yes,
Okay.
he is indigent, and Charles Thomas, I guess is,
Okay.
So I think you could do a motion to approve
who is
payment of,
Yeah.
our maximum is right now, I think
Yes,
it's
Charles.
750.
And then we'll worry about
And then we
the
can do the
policy.
policy going forward.
Okay, sounds good. I'd entertain a motion.
I'd make a motion that we approve the payment at the current specified maximum of $750 for the indigent burial of Mr. Thomas.
Second.
I've got a motion by Commissioner Scott and a second by Commissioner Hatfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I mean, I guess this could be something that we review, again down the road, especially if we find out that, the plots or the final resting place is substantially higher. That can make a difference, but it sounds like we're either in line or at the top of the list or top of the pack for all other local areas.
Except for cash.
So,
Cash is 1,400, you said?
1,000.
cash is between 7 and 9.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Davis County was 450 and Weaver County was 325.
Okay. And then I would make a motion, somebody make a motion to go through the policy and update the policy, or do you want us just to instruct you guys to do that and come back to us?
I can put it together, I don't know. if I
Okay.
need a motion.
Yeah.
All right, okay, thanks you.
Just update
For the
it.
next time.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thanks. Warrant register, anyone? Do we have warrant register?
It's right here.
Chrissy had to fix your nameplate.
You have PAs too.
I don't know, I was looking at Diane, I don't think she got the gist of,
Actually, start it down at that.
Yeah, start it down here, huh?
Did we lose somebody in Tremont last night? Was there a death in Tremont?
Not that I'm aware of.
There's a crash, West Main or something.
That's what I was just gonna say. I got a text from my sister in Arizona. Said that she had heard somebody had passed away from Tremont. I'm like, I don't know. I live under a rock.
Thank you.
Feels so good not to sign 2020 anymore. Just saying.
Don't jinx it.
Hindsight is so 2020.
That notebook come back to you.
Chrissy, I need another calendar. Did you get me another calendar? No, you're fine.
Oh, what's your doing? I've got one that I never use each year. I just give it to
Oh,
you.
really?
Yeah. It's one of those fold like Atlas ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for metformin. It's been on a dock in California for 3 weeks. My diabetes pill.
Then I can close the door.
Pass those down, huh?
Yeah, Marta, I was just almost wondering if we could reach out to some of those cemeteries to see if any of them have room that they would donate a plot for, you know, maybe just rotate throughout the area, you know what I mean? So in Valley View, where my grandparents are buried, they actually donated plots for some Miller kids that passed away. So, anyway. So there was a set of twins that are,
I don't talk to them very often, but, I mean, we could maybe send something out.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say, maybe send something out, that would help those guys in that arena.
Are we good?
I don't think we've got anything.
Have a closed session.
We don't have a closed session, should be good.
Okay. Good night.
Thanks.
Be careful. Man, gonna have carpal tunnel.
Corporal tunnel.
Holy cow, are we still going?
Oh, he's got a stack.
We're only halfway done.
We're not even halfway done. Can we have a stamp?
It's the new year.
Where's a stamp, Marla? Wow. Thought we were going paperless.
Signing marathon.
I'm still getting my stuff in the mail. I thought we took care of that. Didn't we?
What's that?
Well, I'm not gonna feel too bad, because sometimes I have to sign twice to your one.
It's a good thing you make twice as much as we do, huh?
Wah, wah.
I'm just here for the benefits.
Yeah, how much is your signature worth, Stan?
What's that?
I said, how much is your signature worth?
I had somebody the other day that I signed some paperwork for. And he called me back and said, how many M's are in Summers? And I just said,
I'm counting at least 2 or 3 on that signature.
at least.
I haven't heard Sherman T. Potter yet.
Oh, yeah, it's because last time you did that, I started signing Sherman T. Potter.
Good.
Well, luckily, we haven't had much of a winter, Steve. You haven't really had the ice and snow, you know?
True.
thinking I probably should have had my shoulder fixed, but
You don't wanna do that.
I really
That's
don't.
miserable.
I gotta get to the point where I can actually go play pickleball with Scott before I die.
Played for a while this morning.
You had to go have the stem cells injected into your shoulder. See if that'll repair it. Will it do full tears? Huh? I don't know. I'm sure it may do a partial tear, but I don't know if it would do a full tear.
The guy wanted to put me in a sling until we could get it done. I said, well, how long's that? He goes, I'm probably booked out until February or March. I'm like, I'm putting in a sling till then. Sympathy sling, is that what they used to call them?
Like a cone of shame.
Oh, funky, like, the elbows in.
Well, you might
I
as
still
well-
got it.
You might as well stand, because Jeff and I have both had a sling on when we've been in here. You might as well do the same.
I had mine when we went back to DC.
Yeah.
Will that get me out of being the chair?
You also had it when we did that bowling thing.
Yeah, I bowled left-handed. If I remember right, I think I beat you guys bowling left-handed.
You did.
I didn't beat Corbett, though, I know that.
It's one thing we never did get started, is it? The Commissioner's Cup.
Turned around somewhere, anyway.
Did we just do it? Did we just do things for every person in the county?
I think, yeah, I think.
Did we miss any of it?
There's those, and then here's the envelope that all those were in.
No, okay.
Ask Diana if she needs some help packing that back up.
She might be blind.
So besides Stan, is there one of you guys that's going to be on the UAC board?
Yeah,
They asked me who it was going to be.
well, was Jeff here last year? You gonna continue, or do you want?
I'm happy to. I think it was mid-year. I think it was like June when I finally got on there.
Yeah, that's true.
What's
Okay.
that?
Yeah, the change, so
Oh,
I think I've only served for 6 months, if that.
Have you been to one meeting, I think, with me?
Yeah,
he was in the most important meeting.
one and one virtual.
Yeah.
So what's the plans for April?
Hopefully Davis or Weber.
I'd vote for Davis.
Yeah, our dates there aren't coinciding, so,
Can we make a phone call?
yeah,
Do it up in cash.
Call Jake Webster.
yeah.
It's his family that
Does it?
operates that for him.
Well, that's where our first choice was.
The Davis Conference Center.
We haven't went to cash for a while.
Yeah, I don't think you have been in cash.
There was USAC,
Yeah,
like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
that's a
Well,
good,
How long ago was it when things were going with Phil?
Phil,
Because that was
five, that was 5 or 6 years
Five
ago.
years. Yeah.
Did you see that, Steve?
What?
We got Phil Lyman a pardon.
Didn't see that.
El Presidente.
Full pardon. We just got another one for a guy that works for Jerry Taylor too, from Commissioner Taylor. He did 20 more today. I was hoping if I was gonna screw up, it'd be during his, so I could call and say, hey, can I have a pardon?
Is that everything?
I'd entertain a motion.
Have a mulligan?
I'd make a motion that we adjourn our meeting.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Scott, second by Commissioner Hatfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, you guys.
No closed session.
No closed session.
No closed session.